Hello, everyone. I'm Cheryl Musial, and welcome to My Care Advisors. In this series, Mind Your Mental Health, this episode is about addressing caregiver burnout. We are joined again today by medical social worker Chuck Bongiovanni. Welcome back, Chuck. It's wonderful to speak with you again today.
Good to see you, Cheryl. I'm glad I'm here. Thank you.
Well, Chuck, caregivers at times can find themselves juggling many responsibilities that affect their mental health and well-being. We spoke about that in our last episode with reactions to caregiving. And I've heard the term caregiver burnout. Can you explain exactly what this is?
Absolutely. Caregiver burnout is a state of physical, emotional, and mental exhaustion. Stressed caregivers may experience fatigue, anxiety, and depression. And something to remember is that, it happens, right? Doesn't make you a bad person. It happens. It happens to the best caregivers out there. But it's recognizing which is most important for your own self-health and such.
That's good to know. And thinking, what are some of those signs then of caregiver burnout?
Yeah, there's a good number of warning signs that caregivers should be able, hopefully, to self-reflect and look at. One being a lack of energy, overwhelming fatigue, sleep problems, maybe sleeping too much or even sleeping too little, changes in eating habits, weight loss or weight gain, a feeling of hopelessness, withdrawing from or losing interest in activities, neglecting your own physical and emotional needs. And if you remember in our first episode, these are kind of same exact things you should be watching for mom and dad when they start having issues. So it's really kind of self-reflective to take a look at yourself now. Another one is feeling like caregiving is controlling your life, or becoming unusually impatient or irritable or argumentative with those you love and those in your family and such. Again, having anxiety about the future, what happens as mom or dad get, collectively go down and get worse perhaps, or, depression, mood swings, difficulty coping with everyday things that you easily cope with before. And sometimes it can be physical. We can have headaches and stomach aches and other physical problems, being sore, those kinds of things, and lower resistance to illness. If you're getting a cold all the time, or those kinds of things, it's all stress related and has those physical manifestations in it because of those stresses.
That makes total sense. Well, can you share a few tips in managing all of that caregiver burnout?
Yeah, the first thing is noticing it.
Mhm.
That's the most important thing, because once you notice it, next thing is asking for help. Needing help doesn't make you a bad caregiver. It simply means you can't do it alone. And you know what? No one can do it alone. So it's not a weakness. It's actually strength, but going out and getting that help. Give yourself permission to take breaks. Get out of the house, visit with friends, pamper yourself with a massage, or take a long bath and relax. Taking good care of yourself. Don't skip doctor's appointments because you're too busy, and exercise and eat well and get enough sleep. And, again, get up 15 minutes earlier than you used to and have that time with yourself. Have that time to just sit and relax, and, maybe even journaling about your struggles and feelings, and make a list of your daily activities and things you have to do that day, and see if you can delegate any of them to someone else. Perhaps your spouse can make dinner twice a week or something, or maybe a friend can run some errands or help with laundry, and just ask for that help that's needed. Something else you could look into is if your employer has any kind of family leave benefits. Those are new benefits that are out for companies and for employees. That might take a huge weight off your shoulders by giving you a couple more hours a day when you need it the most. And then what's really important too is if you really feel you need it, join a local support group so you can talk with other people who are in the same situation that you're in. And it does help by opening up and sharing your frustrations and joys even. And you'll notice that you're not alone. Other people are feeling the exact same way that you are.
Yeah, very, very important to join into that support group and take care of yourself. I love those thoughts, Chuck. And we think about, are there any other resources or things that people should think about that we haven't already discussed as they go throughout their caregiver journey?
Well, I think the biggest resource is themselves. And again, and having them understand that, it's normal. Okay. But they need to catch it and have that self-awareness before it gets to a point where it's going to hurt themselves mentally or physically. Or, sometimes caregiver burnout can lead to neglect on of the senior and their loved one. So it's important that they notice these signs and reach out for help. Locally, again, I would recommend reaching out to their local Care Patrol advisor to find out what kind of resources are out there for them locally. But it's really important to understand that it's normal and it happens, and they just have to identify it before it becomes a problem.
Oh, thank you, Chuck, for those words. And it's been a pleasure speaking with you over this whole series to mind your mental health. And so thank you for joining us, and thank you for sharing your insight.
Well, thanks for having me here. It's been great to share these things that are really important to caregivers that are out there.
Thank you, Chuck, for joining us today with such great information. To view resources, show notes, and access more My Care Advisors episodes, visit mycareadvisors.com. You can also subscribe and listen to our podcast on your favorite app. I leave you with this thought. Self-care is a practice of taking an active role in protecting one's well-being and happiness. Choose to be inspired to live the best life every day. Thank you for listening. We are grateful to be your guide.